Elizalde Broadcasting. Elizalde Broadcasting. Elizalde Broadcasting. Elizalde Broadcasting.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my program, Special People. Okay. So, just like all the other Special People episodes I had, this time, this is your host, Rex Manuel of Elizalde Broadcasting, bringing you another edition of the Special People for this week. And, it's been about a week from the first time we have heard that, we had a presumptive president and a presumptive vice president. Am I correct? It's been a week because, we voted on a Monday and today is a Tuesday. So if I remember right, Tuesday, right after the election, we were already being sounded off. Who is our presumptive president? Who is our presumptive vice president? And since it's been a week from now, I do believe it's not just presumptions, no longer presumption, but we're almost nearing reality. And we, right here at Elizalde Broadcasting, has been doing a lot of things already to prepare ourselves to the coming of the new administration in our country. Okay, so I'm speaking this way because I know that at one time I told you our plans of having what we call a West Cup worldwide. Okay, this is in preparation to this organization called Association of Women, Elderly and Senior Citizens of the Philippines, or a West Cup. And I call them Awesome a West Cup. And of course, because we feel that we can go worldwide with this organization, let me now announce to you that our dear President, Mrs. Jesusa Raiz, who is of course the president of a West Cup for some time now. Of course, she was not the founding president. We had a founding president way back. I'm one of the founding officers. And I'd like to take pride in saying that now I am the national vice president for this particular organization, the AWESCOP. Okay, so on behalf of AWESCOP, I'd like to congratulate winners in the past election. In Quezon City, our dear Mayor Joy Belmonte still remains to be the mayor of Quezon City. So congratulations, Mayor Joy Belmonte. Congratulations, ma'am. All right. So, pinapalakpakan yun, actually. Yung atin namang Vice Mayor. Tama ba ako? Did I say Mayor Joy Belmonte? Baka I said Mayor or President, ha? Mayor Joy Belmonte. The Vice Mayor, of course, is no less than, of course, Jillian Soto. Okay. So, I'd like to just take it up from here, from Quezon City. But, of course, I have a bigger role to play this time. And it has been, it has been discussed quite recently. It was reiterated to me that being the national, or not really the national, only the vice president for the National Capital Region, or the NCR, Okay, right now, there's this party called the Labor Party Philippines, or the LPP, which is, of course, a party, a political party which has been existing for about more than decades. It's now its 39th year, and next year it will be celebrating its Ruby Jubilee, they call it. It's going to turn into a, well, it still is Labor Party Philippines, but it used to be the Workers and Peasants Party. Okay, workers and peasants. But, to make it more appropriate to the times right now wherein the labor sector really needs, some inspiration to start with, because we need to have economic recovery in our country, especially that there's been pandemic. And right now, actually, well, talking about it right now, we go straight to the point. It's not yet endemic. We're still in the stage where there's still pandemic. But I would say that I could feel deep inside my heart that we are on our way now to almost going to the new normal. On our part, right here, I mentioned to you about OWESCOP. We women, elderly, and senior citizens, you know what we are experiencing right now? We're like, starting over again. Okay? Dapat pala dito, Angelo, prepare mo yung music kung starting over again. We'd like to say that we're starting over again because we at OWESCOP, we've been doing this for the past year. We've been, years actually. We've been having events at different malls like SM Super Malls or Robinson. In this case right now, we are assigned at the Robinson's Novaliches. And we're going to have, in line with our starting over programs, we're going to have this coming Friday a senior cruisin'. Okay, why we call it a senior cruisin'? Because it's going to be the typical, Santa Cruzan when there's Reina Elena, Reina Emperatriz. And in other words, this is actually a reenactment of the years back, the times of our Lord. There were, we have this Reina Elena, or that's Queen Helena. Okay, so that's the reason why we are reenacting this every year. It's been a Filipino tradition that we do come up with what we call a senior cruisin'. We say senior cruisin' because this is now being undertaken by our colleagues, the senior citizens. Okay. I'd like to talk to you, therefore, right now, as a senior citizen. As a senior citizen that, we did exercise our right of suffrage. It's actually our right to vote. Make known to whoever we would like to know. The entire country, as a matter of fact. That's the reason why this is called a democratic country, because we believe in democracy, and democracy is the majority of the people rule. Okay, the majority, which means the voice of the people this coming election. If we have already elected our president, our vice president, then since this is a national election, that's why we have president, vice president, and of course, the usual, we elected some 12 senatorial candidates. So we have right now 12 candidates. And, I cannot mention one by one all the names. But of course, there were those we felt for them. We wanted them to win as senators, but they didn't make it. But in our hearts, they can be our senator forever, even if they didn't make it. I refer, of course, to one person we salute and we admire, and that's no less than the former Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform, or DAR, and we refer, of course, to Mr. John Castriciones. Okay. Dear John, hi. I just call you Dear John now. Sayang sana, Dear Sen, my senator to be. But let me tell you a story. I did go out of my way. I was really campaigning for him. Well, he sent me some few flyers, and I used those flyers. There were also some masks, which of course says John Casticiones. And because being a former DAR man, that is of course the Department of Agrarian Reform. And again, I said I want to tell you a story. The reason why my heart went for him is because we know that he has helped a lot of farmers who turned out to be landowners. That's the reason why there's such a thing as agrarian reform, so that we can have a proper sharing of the abundance that God has given us in terms of land or our agricultural land. So that's the reason why, it has come to our attention that we need someone like him in the Senate, because we know that one of the things we need to address right now in these times of the near ending pandemic, we need to recover economic wise, or our country should have economic recovery. And of course, there should be abundant food supply for all Filipinos. And we know that because of this supply for food, this will be therefore called a food security program. We would need to have food security for our country. Okay? We don't just work and say we want to earn money. Because what for is the money? We use money to buy, commodities, to buy things we need. But one of the basic needs we have is, of course, food. Because we know that the basic needs are food, clothing, and shelter. So, okay, for those candidates anyway who knew that shelter is important, they now took pride in saying they're going to come up with pabahay programs. And speaking of pabahay programs, not only candidates, not only political personas went into this thing called pabahay. We know of some business people who use the pabahay program to entice people to join them in their businesses, and I'm referring to what kind of business? The network marketing business. And so what they were saying is that if you become a part of their network marketing, then you would surely benefit by being able to avail of what they call the pabahay program. Now, of course, we know that there was also one presidential candidate who was also taking pride that he could have a pabahay program. Now, my question just right now, it came to my mind, now that he didn't make it as president, what's going to happen with the pabahay program that he's talking about? Okay, let me just therefore focus on the more attainable projects. We could just really think of something more attainable in a time like this. Like I mentioned to you, that we, the AWESCOP, the Association of Women, Elderly and Senior Citizens of the Philippines, we are embracing the new normal by bringing in the past that we used to have, which is enjoying a day in a month, which is celebrating it right there in a mall, and that's why it's called Senior Events at the Mall. It's a senior event like this coming May. It's a senior event when there would be Santa Cruzan, okay? Well, what's next? Okay, come May, that's Senior Cruzan, but June, well, we don't know. We're actually going to celebrate Independence Day. Okay, so when we do celebrate Independence Day, if I remember correctly, what normally happens during Independence Day is we are asked to wear again our Filipiniana. So I remember that right now they have mentioned Filipiniana many times. Like this time they said, for those of you who are not joining the senior cruzan, meaning you won't be any of those emperatriz or the Reina Elenas and all the Reina Sentenciada, the Reina de Abogada and all that. They said you should come in Filipina dress. Now, I didn't say anything anymore because majority rules. That's the democratic way of doing it. But actually, I wanted to ask, come June, you're going to celebrate Independence Day. And what are you going to do? Wear Filipiniana again? Well, why not? If you feel like wearing Filipiniana every once in a month, then so be it. Okay, so my dear friends of the Awesco, I'd like to congratulate you. You're just one of the few officers. You're one of the few organizations wherein the officers are very much active despite the pandemic, despite the lockdowns and all that our administration, the Duterte administration has been giving us, giving instructions for senior citizens not to go out, not to be seen in malls and anything like that. But right now, we're back. And we're back simply because we want to enjoy the life we've been missing for the past 2 years. Or actually, it's more than 2 years, okay? So anyway, as a dear friend, of course, to all my friends out there who, of course, casted their vote, no matter how crude my campaign went. But anyway, I'm so happy that I had those kind of votes. I think if I heard it right, it's more than 2,500. Wow. So I should be proud of that. If I really did have those votes, then that means it's not just my family members who voted for me. There must have been other people, my friends, my former classmates, my colleagues, my neighbors, and of course, maybe my barangay captain. Okay, speaking of barangay captain, I'd like to greet Dean Adato. Dean Adato, the barangay captain for Barangay Marilag. And speaking of Marilag, okay, here's one thing I'd like to announce. We've been planning so much in the past. We've been planning to have a program called Marilag, which will be a program for women only, and a magazine for women only. But it seems to us that we cannot really do away with men. If we are women, usually a woman would need a man. I say usually because not all, of course, not all women would really need a man. But if you are a person who don't need, if you're somebody that you don't need a man in your life, then join us in Marilag, because Marilag will be a magazine mostly for women. And if we do feature men, these are men of substance, men we feel should be featured because that particular man must have done something for the women advocacy. Am I correct? So if I remember right, if you would remember the late Rocco, okay, the almost President Rocco at the time, of course we know that his advocacy are women. He usually comes up with laws that protect women. Of course, we also we believe that, there are other gentlemen that promotes the advocacy for women. So we would also give chance for those men who we know gives protection to the rights of women. Okay. So now at this point, it's not going to be a very long program for me today. I just wanted to announce that we have invited a director to judge one of the judges, actually. He's one of the judges. And his name is Michael Daya. Direct Michael Daya is going to be the director himself, who will be one of the judges. Also, in the line of judges, we have, he's been an actor. The very first time I met him, we met in a movie. We both did the movie OFW, the movie, and he happened to play the role of my nephew, the brother of Kakay Bautista in the movie, and the movie was called OFW, the movie. So this guy I'm referring to is no other than Dr. I call him Dr. Raymar Gutierrez. He is now an actor-producer of a movie which I cannot mention the name because I don't know the name. And he's going to be one of the judges. We also have Princess Asebuke. Princess Asebuke, she owns a company which is the key to, I believe it has something to do with prosperity, success and prosperity, something like that, or empowerment. But anyway, whatever the name of her company is, she is actually one of the board of judges. Okay, so we have judges. Of course, they have also invited our dear matriarch of the Elizalde Broadcasting. But my only worry is that because our dear matriarch, or no less than Mrs. Elizalde herself, goes home all the way to Laguna, and that's really a long trip from Novaliches, Quezon City, all the way to Laguna. So even if, for example, she does not join us to be a judge in the person or a face-to-face judge, she may judge it from watching or viewing whatever's going on in our program, because we will be televised. There will be a video to reach all the way here in our studio. So we will use a video recorder, if it's a video recorder, or if we want, we just use our cell phone and we just, maybe do a live chat. we do a live broadcast from that venue. That's actually Robinson's Novaliches, and see what we can do. But anyway, just in case that she would not have the chance to judge, because after all, you don't judge it as if it's a beauty contest. No, it's not a beauty contest wherein, several older women will be marching and they would all vie for the title Miss Reina Elena. No, it's not like that. Each locality, or no, it's not a barangay. I don't know how they will divide it. There are groups. Like there are groups coming from Talanay in Quezon City, from Payatas, Quezon City, Commonwealth, things like that. But I understand that these are mostly coming from District 2, Quezon City. Anyway, I come from District 3, but I have no participation, or I have no presentation, because it's a contest on the different presentations. So presentations would be judged according to its color, to its impact, how they project in front of all the viewers or all the audiences right there at Robinson's Novaliches. And the judges would just simply put there, say, Talanay or Commonwealth. So we would just judge them according to the name of their group. So there will be group winners. Okay. What we just don't know is whether there will be group prizes. Well, we'll try our best. We're still trying our best to see what we can do in terms of prizes. But just in case, we can just list down the names of the winners, and, let's wait for the incoming president or the incoming vice president. Anyway, it's just a joke, but because we all know that this coming month of May, or within May, we would already know who the winners are, no longer presumptive, but real winners. And please, I would advise the youth of today, the young people, please refrain from making nasty comments and putting it or posting in your Facebook. Because after all, when people don't like what you did, then they bash you. And now that you're being bashed, you cry like a baby. And you also need sympathy. And you get sympathy from people. But this is what I want to tell you, being a senior citizen myself. When you make comments, make sure that it's not applicable to everyone. Because if you talk in general terms, when you say, where are your brains? Are you referring to us? Are you talking to senior citizens? Do you know that there is actually a law that does not permit you to do that, to be, disrespectful of senior citizens? And we can probably tell you now that most of those who voted are the senior citizens. I do know that for a fact because I've been going around different precincts in my area, and I saw that the senior citizens did not waste their opportunity to vote. And why? Because the senior citizens, they know what is that within our country, what is the real story, what is the history of our country. Because first of all, they were already born way before you were born. They could even be your grandmother or your grandfather. So when you say something which sounds very disrespectful, and it seems to also hit the ego of the senior citizens, definitely you would get an uproar. We will not allow that to happen. When you talk of general terms and when you go questioning, where are your brains? What happened to you? Seriously, come on. Deal with that. If you want to deal with that, use your messenger. You have messenger friends. You have people you want to send that message to. Then do it that way. Send it personally to the person you'd like to address, and not just put it in your Facebook as if it applies to everybody. Because everybody then who will read and who would, feel bad about what you have just posted in your Facebook would definitely react. So that's just my advice. I'm just trying to be a nice mom to you, a mother, or even a grandmother to you, the youth of today. And mind you, don't be surprised because you say, how come we see millions of people whenever there are, meetings, caravans, and whatever? Because these are people who were invited, and these are people who wishes to see who are the celebrities that will come out, entertainers who will sing for them, dance with them, would say a lot of things and a lot of nasty things, and you think you're permitted because why? It's campaign period. You can say anything. Okay, that's the bottom line. I'm saying right now, put an end to that. It's no longer campaign period. It's no longer that part wherein, people will not be able to identify who you are. Right now, you could be identified. And please, that there's such a thing as a case called cyberbullying, okay? So just be reminded of that. And again, I'm saying this. I know of some people who were out there, some even borrowed from me, pink t-shirts because they wanted to wear the color code that they're asked to wear. But I tell you what, you there, who who you are, I'm referring to, you know that your entire family is disenfranchised from voting? They cannot vote because you have not registered where you are staying right now. You've been there for about 5 years, but you did not register, so you're not entitled to vote. Now, I could hear you talk to your mom saying, with or without your permission, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm old enough to do this, old enough to do that. But mind you, when there's a case filed against you, don't you think that still is your mom, your mother, or anyone close to you who will, of course, be your defender or do something to defend you? So please don't be arrogant. Don't be arrogant that you think all the while it's always like a caravan, it's always like a rally, a big rally where you can just really shout to your heart's content. Then you go in front of COMELEC building and you say whatever you want to say. Then I'll tell you what, join us at the Labor Party Philippines because you will meet someone like you. The name is Mel Chavez. Okay, join Mel Chavez. Then you have to say whatever you want to say and shout it out right in front of COMELEC. At least there will be a political party to take care of you. And that's us. That's the Labor Party Philippines. But I tell you what, we are law-abiding citizens. We are people who believe. That's the reason why we've been there for about 39 years now. We are people who believe in the democratic rule of law. And what is democracy? That is having an election, say every 6 years, or then it was only about every 5 years or 4 years. But the bottom line is whatever is in the Constitution should be the one followed. Know your Constitution in the first place. Know what is supposed to be something that is allowed and what is not allowed. Because if you keep doing what you think is right because you believe in Mr. Google or you believe in Google, hello? We are in a country and our country is the Philippines. We belong to this nation. That's why we're called Filipinos. Now, for those who would like to believe we are Maharlikans and our country should not be called Philippines but be called Maharlika, it's really all up to you. Because they say, what's in a name? That which we call a rose would still smell as sweet no matter whatever name you use it. So again, my appeal to you is this. You know your heart. You were born a Filipino. I am born a Filipino. I was born Filipino and I'm still Filipina. So I'm telling you, this is what you should do. You now go to your room. Make what you call a self-assessment. If you have to face the mirror and make an assessment of yourself. Okay? If you think that your beauty, your stance, it seems to me that you're thinking you don't belong to the Philippines. Maybe you belong to another world like Australia or Canada or US. Then go there. Enjoy yourself. Okay? But if you are here, wherein our democracy states and says that the majority of the people, whenever there's an election, that's how we determine who our leaders are. Let the majority's voice speak, and that's the winner. Okay? And that's what we should follow. Okay? With that, I know I'm sounding like a teacher, a guru, whatever, but I'm just trying to impose a little bit of discipline to the youth of today. To the youth of today, you only get your youthfulness once, and then later on, whether you like it or not, it's either you leave this world or you continue to grow old, because that is the process of life. We go through a process, and the process is from childhood to adolescent to youth, being young adults, and now you become adult and you become old. And whether you like it or not, right here in our country, we offer this kind of solution to the people who are growing old. You are welcome to join us at this sector in the society called the senior citizen sector. Okay, for me, I'd like to also announce that we have what we call the golden years. The golden years would start at the age of 50. If you're still in your 50, or right now you're into your late 40s and getting near to be in the golden years, then do call me, your friend, and I'm in the Facebook. Just look for me in the Facebook. Of course, my Facebook name would spell Sure, S-U-R-E, Sure Manuel. And if you want to look me up further, you can check me out. I've done a lot of live videos, and of course, I'm also active in YouTube, and you can just check it out. My name would be Sure Manuel or Resi Manuel in the YouTube. And if you want to clear out through Mr. Google, check me out in your Google. Check the name Resi Manuel in the Google, so you'll really know who I am. Okay? So with that, having said that, be my friend in the Facebook if you want. We can really talk some more. And if you want life mentoring or life coaching, I can do you a life coaching program. I can prepare for you a life coaching program at no cost. By the way, at no cost. I'm not going to charge you any fee for you asking me to life coach you. I just feel that I learned so much of my past, and I'm willing to share it to the youth of today. So the youth of today, just stand still, just be there, believe in God, and respect your parents and respect your government. So having said all that, again, this is Rex Manuel of Elizalde Broadcasting, and you have just tuned in to the program Special People. Let's all be special to one another. Let's all be special